Just like that, man. We're back. We're back. Once again, my name is Joe.
It's Marcus.
As we know, life is full of surprises, both good and bad. The day to day journey is full of unforeseen obstacles, and sometimes it's hard to see our way through. Beyond the norm and mundane are where unscripted dreams live. Join us for thought provoking discussions and interviews to help us navigate through the fog and create our own path. We are the Unscripted Dream Podcast, oper- operating outside the margins to motivate and inspire our audience. So, episode two, man, reputation.
We made it.
Yeah, we made it, man. Let's keep this thing rolling. All right, let me dive in. So, what is reputation? What comes to mind? Reputation determines the social standing of a person in society. It's simply a measure of his or her influence. A person equipped with good reputation is definitely preferred for better opportunities and well preferred for dominant roles. This is what you call, quote unquote, cut above the rest. You can apply this to any and every situation. Now, what you're most likely thinking, does reputation really matter? And reputation is among the most treasured and powerful assets in society. It's about what others think of us, and it's also how we distinguish ourselves. Our reputation is a sense of ownership through the viewpoint of others, and it's a very personal thing, but it's also an easy thing to lose.
Yeah, I agree with that. I think there's some levels. I think there's some levels to reputation, and it really, I think, as I was thinking about this topic as we were preparing for it, I was kind of going through the different layers of reputation and how it applies differently depending on the scenario in which you're discussing it. So what I guess, Joe, what I'll start off with is when you're thinking about reputation, what's the most important building block for your reputation?
I think the most important building block is what you want to get out of it. You got to know what you want to get out of it. The term reputation is two-sided. As we know, there's only good and bad. Most people won't trust someone with a bad reputation in most cases and wouldn't want their good reputation tarnished by them. So I'm speaking from that perspective.
All right, I got you. Um, one thing I was thinking about the first thing was just your reputation in the internet, how we have a personality online. We have an online image of ourselves that we portray to the world. And we don't always think about how what we put online, how it affects how other people will view us. I think some people are perceptive of it, but others others are not. And it's crazy when you watch the news. I mean, there's a story about it probably every other day about somebody who put something on social media and now they're being canceled or criticized or something's happening because their reputation has been damaged because they tweeted something or they posted something that um, I guess wasn't approved by the majority of their audience.
Yeah, I mean, that's simply called, it's a term, man, used by marketing companies. It's better known as reputation management. And simply reputation management, it refers to the influence and control of an individual's reputation. The growth of the internet and social media, along with reputation management companies, have made search results a core part of an individual's reputation. So, perfect example, LinkedIn, Instagram, Facebook, you name it. All social media factors in reputation and how well you would be received on that particular platform based on how you utilize it or how it's utilized by the member, hacked or not. That all plays a huge factor into what you're trying to get out of it.
Yeah. So there's a whole a business that or a industry that's been created just to improve the reputation of a business or individual, which is that's just making the most out of an opportunity right there. Um, so, and I see this a lot. We know when we go places, you'll check on your phone or you'll check on your computer, you'll look at reviews for restaurants or for stores and things like that. And that rating, that star system, if you're on Google, if you're using any other search engine, that is the reputation of that business. And you can kind of see how some business owners are proactive about responding to comments, and then you'll see others that just don't they just don't care. And it's and I think that's real reflective just in the quality of the business is being, well, for one, that business owner, whoever manages those comments, they know that the effect of having a bad comment put on there or a bad rating will deter people from their business, and that's money. That's money going out the window. So I think that's important. And I think that's one facet that people might not understand, is that it's important to respond to somebody who is maybe trying to slander you or speak poorly on you, because some people just, they want to ruin your reputation, and it's not.
It's a
It's not.
game to them.
Yep. So that's what's crazy about it, is that you know you have a fixed amount of control that you have on your reputation, but it's kind of up to you as an individual to make sure that you're doing everything in your power to promote a positive image of yourself.
I mean, it's simply, the term's popular now. It's called trolling, man. It's actually funny to witness, but when you're on the other side of trolling, man, it can be really ugly. Let me share with you with 10 factual things that will help you as far as your online reputation, for people that want to get something out of it. Well, let's start with number one. Number one is literally about creating a presence on any and all relevant web properties. Like I said, you want to utilize the internet as much as possible. It's the easiest and quickest way to expand your brand. So I don't see why you wouldn't be on these popular outlets such as Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok, you name it, whatever. Number two, you want to go through, well, you don't want to necessarily neglect your social media accounts. A lot of people have habits of creating this to expand their brand for whatever they're promoting or whatever they want to get out of it. And then the maintenance just doesn't add up to the work that they're trying to put in, or people don't see that, or people aren't, it's not brought to their attention about how much work you may be putting in. I fall victim to that myself as far as advertising. I don't necessarily advertise as much as I probably should, just because I think it's more so a lazy approach. I will be honest, I think it is a lazy approach. I'm too busy with my personal life as far as my professional and trying to move up the ladder. And then I got these ventures on the side that are kind of put on the back burner because, I'm not trying to be proactive, or I don't want to pay X amount of dollars to have my stuff out there. I'm just like an advertisement. What the hell am I going to do with an advertisement when I could just do it all myself? And then it always ends up with me just back to square one because I'm not being proactive enough about it. Let's move on to number three. Number three is about considering your brand and products. You may need to build out, online materials or social profiles for more than just your company name. Maybe you want people to see all realms of what you have to offer. It's not even from a company standpoint. It could just be you selling yourself for whatever that is. You might be along the lines of something like me, more so like your local motivational speaker that's inspiring to touch more people than his reach. So let's move on to number four. Number four is more so about protecting individuals associated with the business. So, that's pretty self-explanatory, man. You know what to say and what not to say, and you should know how to move with whatever you're promoting. You know what would help or hurt your business based on what you put out there. So be mindful of what you may put out there, and every time you put something out there, especially if it's something heavily biased, it'll definitely come back to bite you in the ass sooner or later.
Yeah, it will.
You got number 5, implement authorship or where applicable. So in other words, give people their just due, give them their roses while they're still here, however you want to put that or phrase together. But you want to make sure that you put your name and your John Hancock in everywhere. Make sure that people know who you are. You mean business. It's very important that you do sign off on these type of things and make yourself accessible with these LinkedIn accounts or these Twitter accounts, SoundCloud, whatever you promote music or something, or maybe even promoting a book on Amazon. Make sure people cannot skip over your name because people will steal your stuff if it's not trademark or whatever legalities come with it. Number 6 is blogging, man. Wherever you can blog, you can easily blog on comments. You know what I'm saying? You can go on YouTube, blog the hell out of everything that applies to whatever you're promoting out there. It's very important to blog so people know you here. That's how you build that reputation, and that's how you keep it strong. Let's move on to number 7. Number 7 is very, very important. And this is what we are trying to promote to you guys to make this show beneficial to who's ever listening, our audience. And it's 7. Number 7 is listen. Listen to what people have to say. Listen to their advice. Listen to everything. I can give you a perfect example. Our first show wasn't the best as far as we were finding a good software to use for our podcast. And I think that this one might be a potential hit. So, a lot of people gave us a lot of flack for the audio quality and stuff. And we're like, relax. It's our first episode. That's the first time we did it. We didn't re-record or anything like that. We do all our stuff in one take. So, we're like the best rapper out there, so to speak. We do everything in one take, man. That's just how we do it. Let's move on to number 8. Number 8 is about apologizing. Even if you know you're right and people don't see your vision, which they mostly don't see your vision or where you're trying to be, apologize, man. And you'd be like, why should I apologize? It's one thing to be super prideful, man, but if you want to expand and you want to get further, you want to land somewhere further than where you are currently, you know what I'm saying, man? Just apologize, man. It's really a ego thing at this point, man. I understand you have a destination, you won't let nobody get in the way, but just apologize, man. Avoid the what I'm going into number 9, which is don't get into any online arguments. Don't get trolled. So if people talking, whatever junk, whatever they have to say, don't comment if you don't have nothing nice to say. You know what I'm saying? Just keep it real first grade, man. If you ain't got nothing nice to say, don't say it. So, getting in those arguments just expose biases. It'll expose a lot of things. And that's how you really can kill your reputation online, man. And the last thing, this goes back to me talking about the laziness factor of advertising for what you're branding out there or whatever you're putting out there. And that's the last one. It's called investing. So make the investment, man. Put in those extra coins to get yourself out there. Whether you're doing a personal business, whether you're blogging, whether you just want some attention on the internet, which most people apparently love to do, make the investment, man. You know what I'm saying? What's wrong with you, sitting on the beach, in your bikini or your swim trunks and, you just flaunt everything, make that investment, man. Give people what they want to see.
Yeah. That's a good list, Joe. I think there was one that you mentioned. I think it's number 4. You're kind of speaking on protecting just the individual associated with the business. So I
Yeah,
worked.
man. Protect the family jewels, man.
Yeah. So I worked I worked at a college as a career advisor. So my responsibility would be more so educating the students on some aspects of their job search, but just making sure that as an individual, kind of the word branding, but just letting them understand that their online presence, that persona that they create for themselves on social media, on Facebook, on Twitter, on LinkedIn, that employers are going to check that. And it doesn't matter. And what sometimes we would try to communicate is that it doesn't matter that it's your business. It matters that you kind of have enough sense to understand that you're a reflection of the business
Yes.
that you're working at. And even though you feel like it's, I think some of the issues I would have with the students and trying to get them to understand it is that they would kind of say, well, it's my social media. Why should they care about it? And why does it matter? um,
Well, it's, just to chime in, I don't mean to cut into your thought process there, man. But it's no different than you being in a relationship, man. Like it's a full committed relationship, and you have to do your part, man. Like if you don't do your part, what do you think's gonna happen? You're gonna get fired, right? So you gotta treat it like a real life relationship, man. No matter how crappy it is or how good it is, man, you have to do your part. And by you airing out all the dirty laundry from the business on social media and stuff, or you're sitting there talking about who's ever sitting next to you, whether they're smelly, they look funny, whatever they're doing to annoy the hell out of you, that stuff is a reflection on the brand itself, man. And they need to get you out of there because you're not doing them good, man. You're not doing them justice. It don't matter how talented or how skillful you are as a person. If you're doing crippling stuff like that, man, there's so many people out there that just headhunt for that type of stuff. That's why you have businesses now that do type of internal affairs type of actions where they blatantly do word searches on Facebook. They blatantly do word searches in Twitter, and they pay these social media outlets so they can have access to your privacy, so they can actually weed you out of the process, man. And you just got to be mindful of those type of things.
yeah, this is crazy. I've seen when I was working in that role as an advisor, I just saw a lot of students not get jobs because they didn't want to set their social media to private, or they didn't want to, censor themselves. If you're applying for a job and they're screening your social media and you don't have it private, and then you put some post about you complaining about your boss, whatever you're not happy with, and you post that on Facebook, that person who's hiring you is going to think, what are they going to say about me, or what are they going to post about me when they're not happy with something that occurs in this new opportunity that you might have for them. So most, I would hope that most people that are responsible for hiring um, are taking that. They're probably looking at it in that way. I think at least the good managers are, the good HR folks are doing that. But just I feel like it's just a dangerous outlet. I don't want to deviate from the topic, but just the ability to be able to say whatever you want to say and post it out there quickly can create a problem for people who don't really know how to censor themselves or know when it's appropriate, and what the effects of a sentences can have on your job opportunities or your career. Like
It
it's not worth it. Like
it can be as simple as one word, man,
yeah,
and it's over for you. Lights out.
it's just too easy. Man. It's too easy to lose out here.
So, do you mind if we double back to between good reputation and bad reputation quickly here?
Yeah, man, let's do it.
Okay, so what is a good reputation? Well, your reputation is the general belief or opinion that other people have about you. And if you are considered trustworthy and kind, you have a good reputation. That's the best example I can give you. Now, what causes a bad reputation is pretty much it often stems from one of three reasons: your attitude, behavior, or lack of professionalism, as we mentioned before. There is no easy fix for any of these. And so you got in a little bit of trouble and made a mistake somewhere on your journey. We all do. And these errors can hang around and harm your reputation. Um, I find it absurd and yet reasonable how someone could lose their reputation in the span of seconds. It's really shocking how impactful one word or a few words or a sentence or a paragraph can really be detrimental to your success. Whether you're a womanizer, a man eater, con artist, criminal acts involved, you're a liar, bullying, racism, bigotry, pretty much anything associated with ism, you're already put into some type of classification. So, what I'm trying to say more or less is depending on the type of people you're dealing with in your audience, whoever, however you live your life, you have to take in effect the good and the bad. You have to have a whole perspective on how you carry yourself. So think about it in this way. Say you're really good and you're professional about mentioning certain things, but you have certain biases about certain things. Perfect example, say you're all out Democratic. And so whatever comes with Democratic as far as all that, I'm not getting into it. I'm not going to go political today. But say you're Democratic, all right? You already have strikes against you, right? And what I mean by that is there's other people that favor other parties, whether that's Green Party, Republican Party, Independent, whatever. Like you have to accept the fact that not everybody's going to like you and your reputation is not always going to be 100% whether you want it to be or not. So you have to be comfortable with that aspect of it. Now you can limit things, and that's what we're more so talking about. Like you can limit yourself as far as being targeted, but that's as much as you really can do as far as reputation.
Yeah, yeah, I agree. I agree with that. I guess for some folks, there's nothing you can do to win them
Nothing.
over.
Some people are so unhappy with themselves, they will take the time to just get with you. And we're going to go back to trolling. Like, people will take time out of their day, busy or not, just to make sure that your day turns out to be shitty. So, you got to be mindful of that and try to watch out for those loopholes because they'll drag you down with them, man. It's that crab in the barrel mentality almost.
Yeah, and I mean, you see that everywhere. That negativity. So it's important to stay away from that. Um, like I'll go on YouTube and I'll watch a video, and it'll be some crazy, like positive, neutral video that
All over the place.
that you couldn't I mean, really, I mean, it'll be something that if you dislike the video, there's like some sort of darkness inside your soul or something. Like there's something wrong with you. But you'll see it. I mean, sometimes when people like first post videos, somebody will immediately dislike that video, and it's not because they dislike the video, because sometimes they haven't even had time to watch the content. It's just they don't like that individual, or they don't like the title or the message, and they disagree with it, so they dislike it just because. Like it's not about because it's logical or because it makes sense or because an individual might be nice and do all the right things. Some people just don't like you.
It's all a misunderstanding, really, when it comes down to it. That's the messed up part.
Yeah. But because I was reading this article, and I believe it was Psychology Today, and this is what I thought I thought it was a good quote. Was that it said that we only ever have influence over our reputation, never control. This is the case with all things external to us. So you can do everything that's right. You can be positive, transparent, honest, but you will never have complete control over your circumstances because those external factors, like Joe said, the biases that exist within individuals will always be there, and you'll always have to deal with that. But if you're doing, I think what I took away from it, if you're doing everything in your power and you're putting all that effort into doing what you think is right, doing what you think will help you build a good reputation, then you've done everything you can do. And if if you're good with everything that you've done, then that's fine. I think it's just understanding that You can't please everybody, but what you can control, you control.
Exactly.
But that's that's all I really had. Joe, what do you think about um, one thing? I guess with reputation, just addressing false rumors. How would you handle that, or how do you handle that?
How do I handle that?
Yep.
You know, I was one of the best with that. The best advice I can give you is not giving you any advice, to be honest with you. Every situation is different, but I can tell you that I usually don't speak on what I don't know about. That's very helpful. And, sometimes you really don't have to have a reply for everything, man. You know, just let time build, man. I've been hated, I've been loved, I've been adored, I've been admired and hated again. So, you know what I'm saying? Like, people hear different stories, people hear what they want to hear. So, the best way you can do that, man, is just play close to you, man. Focus on you. The more you pay attention to that bull crap, man, is how you take yourself out your own race. So the best way you can do it, man, is stick to your guns, man, and hopefully people come around. If they do, they do. If they don't, they don't. And that's all I can really say from that standpoint.
It's a good answer. It's diplomatic answer. uh,
Yeah,
but
if you asked me that question about 10 years ago, man, oh, whew, would have been a different story.
yeah, it's hard. It's hard taking the high road. Uh, but I mean, I think, Joe, you got anything else
Yeah,
for?
man. I got one last piece here, man, and I want to talk about how do you overcome a bad reputation. Let's piggyback off of that, man. I got six things here, okay? The first thing you want to think about as far as overcoming a bad reputation is assess how bad your reputation is and what part of your life is impacted by it. Is it something you really care for addressing? Just like I said before, most times it's not even worth it. You just keep doing your thing. The second thing would be determine what you can control from what you can't control. You have to, even if it's necessary, write that down. Like, you have to know what you can control and what you can't control. That's going to help you get over that. Third thing, stop practicing or stop participating in toxic behaviors. So leave it alone, get help, see a therapist, apply yourself more, hold yourself accountable for whatever actions or parts you play in these situations, man. And, start to rebuild, you know, toxic behaviors, man. You know all about them, you know your flaws, you know, clean that up, clean your act. Number four, address problems immediately. Don't sweep any issues under the rug. That's where a lot of people go wrong with these situations as far as reputation. If there's a problem and it's bugging the hell out of you, or it's prohibiting you to doing what you need to do out there in the world, address it. Don't let it sit. Address it. You know who you are. Number five, consider hiring a reputation management service. Now, if you just got money to just be throwing out here to all these reputation management services, I mean, be my guest. But I feel like you can do all this yourself. But those services are out there in the world. You can pay somebody X amount of dollars and they can pretty much clean all your social media, clean everything out there for you. So, I mean, to each his own. And the last thing, man, is the most important thing, man. Talk to a trusted peer. Marcus is a trusted peer for me. When I have issues, or I'm talking about I have had issues in the past before with reputation, and the best person to talk to is someone you really trust, a peer, man. They'll never steer you wrong. You just need somebody in your corner that'll give you the good, the bad, and the ugly, especially the ugly. That would, tell you the real, man. Tell you, hey, man, I got your back. You know what I'm saying? I'm willing to throw down for you. I'm willing to do this, that, and the third for you. But you wrong, right? Like, you need that person. You need that person to tell you that you wrong and you acting a fool out here. That's the people you need in your corner.
Yeah. Somebody that'll be honest with you, and y'all won't fall out because of it. So those are hard to find though. Hard to find.
Honestly, man, reputation is an MFer, man. It's literally a catch-22, man. The best thing I can say is make the best out of it, man. The best way to navigate through reputation is to know yourself, know what you're doing, know how you're doing it, and live up to those expectations you laid out for yourself. Don't let anyone put you in a box, and you may want to ask why, and it's because only you can put yourself in one. So whatever fuels you to keep going, choose that route.
All right, man. Thanks, Joe, for all those listeners. You gave us a lot of good tips, a lot of good things to work on. You didn't just talk about the problem; you provided some solutions, and that's what's important to kind of once you address a problem, start working on it. I feel like Joe gave us at least 10 ways to start moving in the right direction.
Hey, my nickname should be Proposition Joe, huh?
But I think that's all. Keeping with the format, that's all we have for this show. I want to thank you all for listening to the Unscripted Dreams podcast. If you have questions or comments, please email us at unscripteddreams@gmail.com. If you'd like to support us, you can support us on Patreon at the Unscripted Dreams podcast page. We have Joe and I, we have exclusive content that we put on that platform that isn't posted anywhere else. It's not on YouTube or any other place online. So we're creating that specifically for our supporters. And if you're listening to this on YouTube, you can find our podcast wherever you listen to podcasts. We're on iTunes, Spotify. But until next time, that's all we got. And thanks for listening.
Peace.